our book club call and to our new book, Dare to Dream and Work to Win. I'm super excited to dig into this book, you guys. It's going to be completely different than anything that we have done before, or not anything, since then the last book that we did this last month, our last book club. And we are going to be working, now that we've got our mind cleaned out and washed out and thinking right, you guys, and it's work. Everything we did in that last book, it was a difficult book for me, but it was a good book because it really deals with your head junk. And that's what that's all about. And this book is going to help you learn more about the industry and how to develop the entrepreneurial muscle that we have to have in order to be able to be successful in this business. You guys, entrepreneurs are tough. And I will tell you, you're in a tough business. As simple as it is, and as simple as we try to keep it, it's a tough business because you're having to learn another whole different set of skills and muscle group than you've ever been conditioned or probably trained to think about, grow, and develop. And so I'm going to try to see if I can see. My eyes are blurry today. I have allergies. But you guys, he talks about in his introduction, I don't know if you guys have the book. I haven't found an Audible, you guys. You're going to have to get like CDs if you're not a reader. But if you will just challenge yourself, you guys, it's a simple read. It's a fun read. And it will be a book that if you're serious about your business, you'll want to have this book and your notes in it to be able to train over the years of your journey in network marketing in Arbonne, because it is going to be just like this has been a Bible of network marketing for me. And it's been something that even though times have changed, the principles in this book don't. And that's when you know you've got something that has that is worthy of you investing yourself. So challenge yourself. If this is one of those times where you go, okay, I'm not a reader, I haven't read it, do your very best to challenge yourself to be a reader this time with this book, because I promise you, you'll be glad you did as you grow on your journey. But he says that the network marketing industry is recognized as a primary means of transacting business. And he says that in today's business climate, it is a tremendous strategy for getting goods and services to the inline user, the customer. And he said they know network marketing is extremely efficient, effective, and profitable. And so as I was reading that, I thought, you know what, you guys, when you come into this business and you're brand new, you sometimes are still questioning, are you really doing something that is good and smart? Because you get so much pushback from your community whenever it's not what you've been trained to think and to do with your life. And so you start to doubt, is it really extremely efficient, effective, profitable, a tremendous strategy? Is it smart? And I want you guys to know, like, you are right. You are smart. You are the one that is on the right track with this. And if you get pushback or you get people challenging you, don't let it chip away at your belief, because it's the first steps to a downfall that you are going to have if you let your beliefs start getting chipped away from people that don't know and understand this industry that you're a part of. He says he was one of those people, but he says that he assumed that this was nothing more than a variation of an old pyramid scheme. And in his view, only a fool would get involved with network marketing. So you guys, that's what people are thinking sometimes of you. Can you handle that? It's not true, but can you handle people thinking you're a fool for doing something like this? Because if you can't handle that, you need to develop some muscle and a stronger mindset and conviction about what it is you have decided to do. And I will tell you, I've said it many times, and all the time you hear me train, is that the reason I was able to do this is because I used the training that I got early in my business. When people were challenging me and thinking I was a fool in their words or their action, did I hear them offering me something back in return, or did I hear them offering to take away the stress and the worry that I had in my life that was chipping away at my life and fixing it for me? Because if they weren't, I didn't let that chip away at my belief. I kept my head strong because I knew they were trying to take this away, but they weren't giving me any hope in replacement of the hope that I had in this business, in this opportunity. So this is where I want you to this is always evaluation in book club, not of your team and what they're doing or not doing in their business. This is evaluation of us. This is our evaluation of what we are doing and how are we doing with this business that we're in, because that is where it starts. And if you're good, your team will come in underneath you and they will be good because they're following a leader that is rock solid in belief and conviction and everything. But it starts with you. So don't be looking around, just look within and ask yourself, do I let people chip away whenever I know they're thinking I'm a fool for doing this? And he said he wanted to understand why these people were so highly motivated and incredibly excited. And he said he concluded that, and after looking and researching, and you guys, he's a psychiatrist. He is in leadership. He works on Capitol Hill with all of the, I don't know how impressive this is, but with all of the senators and congressmen and everything. He works on helping guide them mentally, emotionally, and spiritually in every way. And so he's not just some guy that, decided that he was off, living off the streets and decided to come in and make his money in network marketing. He was this educated man, professional leader, businessman, and he did his research, and he said he switched his thinking 180 degrees, and he concluded that he would be foolish not to get involved in this industry. And he selected a company, he got started. He said it was the wisest business decision he has ever made. So you guys, are you good with the decision you've made? Are you excited? Are you passionate? And are you willing to go out there and give it away with abandonment to your world? And he says that the changes that he has seen within our industry, you guys, it has evolved over time. And today I feel like it is, I know if any of you doubt, it is a well-respected, well-oiled machine today. But he talks about how over time it grew in levels of integrity, professionalism, acceptability in the mainstream, profitability for its participants, technological sophistication, and increased levels and new levels of training and support. He said major changes have transformed, and there's like just the rule of the game today is that corporate arena is in the aftermath of devastation and requires smaller amounts of numbers of people to do greater volumes of work. Where we are helping to give an answer and help fix that, the corporate America, you guys, is now, this book was written a long time ago, and it's still like even worse today, where they're shrinking numbers of human people, but increasing workload on everyone, and are making them do more with less. And he said this is where individuals are competing, he said, for the top positions, and it exceeds the numbers of positions available. Where in network marketing, there's room for everyone at the top. There's nobody having to push somebody else down in order to be able to be successful. And he said that they all know that there's they're playing musical chairs, and at any moment the music can stop and somebody will be living in quiet, chronic fear that they will be the one left standing with no chair to sit in when the music stops. And so you guys, this is where I want you also to think about how many of you, are blessed to have a great job and even job security, so you think. And so that's one of the reasons why we don't dare to dream any bigger. We get really comfortable and cozy at that level, and we start thinking, well, this is good enough. This is I'm comfortable. I don't need Arbonne. Do you guys realize that corporate America is not your security place? It is not a guarantee that you're always going to have the comfort that you have today. And if it is there and it never goes away, which I hope it does, if that's what you're placing your hopes and your dreams and your security in, I hope that it does not change for you, truly. But what I want to challenge you to do is dream bigger. And I've had this conversation with some of you whenever you come to me and you're like, you know what? I just don't know what it is that makes me not work harder in this business than what I do. And because I have a really good life. My husband has a really good job, all of these things. And you guys, it's still like such a small way of thinking and living and dreaming that I'm like, my gosh, you need to dream bigger. And it may be good where it is, but can you just, without being ungrateful, we always have to be grateful, but can you dream bigger than just, the fact that you have, a husband that has a good job? Because lots and lots of things can happen to that, you guys. And I don't mean to be painting a poor picture, or maybe it's you with the great corporate America job. Lots and lots of things can change in that. You can get sick. You can not be able to work. You can, get fired. A company can shut down. All of those things can happen. And so what I want you to do is challenge yourself and recognize you don't dream big enough. You don't dream big enough to be taking full advantage of this network marketing opportunity that you have been given. And that is where you need to start thinking past the corporate America, even though that's reality for corporate America. If you're finding your comfort in there, add to that. And unless you do, you're not gonna give this all it's got, because you treat it as a side thing. Hold on just a second. This. So the results, he says, of these changes are people are getting demands on their life in corporate America that are too great. Stress is too high. Potential for freedom is too small. Hope of job security is gone. And the rewards are too minimal. And you guys, this is where the millennials, I think that's better, the millennials and people today really are realizing that they want bigger, better, more freedom, more flexibility, all of those things. They're willing to work for it, but they want it on their terms. And they're no longer submitting to corporate America. So as much as I'm saying you might need to grow out of that, there's a whole lot of people out there that are looking for what you have to offer them. And you're just going through the numbers. We're filtering and sorting to find the people that might be looking for the wonderful world that we get to live in. And he says that he hopes that this book will strengthen your resolve and shorten your learning curve so that you can have what this industry will offer you. And he says, I put in here, I hope that it helps you develop the grit, because that's what this business takes, is it takes grit. You need to be and have the ability to dream, you guys. And that is what I've been telling some people on the MVP call yesterday. I was telling them, like, I challenge people in this business Q&A that I've been doing. Like, their biggest obstacle is what I'm talking to you about right now. The biggest obstacle people have to starting this business and this journey is that they don't know how to dream big enough. They start settling for good enough. But let me tell you, it starts with you again. If you can't dream bigger and see this for what it is, you're not going to be able to help anybody else see through the fog, like he said. So we have to be able to dream, and we have to be willing to work. And I say all the time, whenever people come to me and they go, "Do you think I can do this?" And I'm like, I need two things. You don't need to worry about anything. I need two things from you. And this is what you can tell everybody that you're talking to. You can say, I need desire, and I need work ethic. That's desire, dreams, wishing for something different or better, and work ethic to go along with it. Because you can dream all day long. Some of you may be going, "Oh, I got dreams," but you got to add the work to it. And that's why I love this book, because it tells you it requires both. It's not dare to dream or work. It's and we have to be willing to do both and not be able to quit whenever it seems harder than what you thought it was going to be, or it becomes inconvenient. Success is not convenient, you guys, and he talks about that in this book. Also in the chapter where he says seeing through the fog, I wrote in here, you guys, that what you will hear is him saying what the bedrocks or the principles for success are and required of each and every one of us. No one gets a free ticket. No one gets a free ride. And so what I kept circling in this book, as in this chapter as I was reading it, is that he uses words like you need this. It's not like you might want it. You need it. Do you hear the finality and the command in that? It's not that it's not a suggestion. It is, this is required of all of us. We need, it is pivotal, sorry, however you say that word, imperative and requires. And those are words, those are strong words. And so I want you guys to understand that the principles in this book are strong, and they are principles. They do not waver, they do not change, and they aren't going to let you get by with less. It is all required of all of us. So seeing through the fog, I actually hadn't thought about it. We talk about vision all the time. I just changed my glasses because I'm like, I really am struggling just seeing today. But I've never thought about like how if you have fog, like he talks about in London, England, he says the fog is so thick it impairs vision, muffles sound, and slows the progress of those enveloped in it. And you guys think about that. I hadn't thought about like why people don't hear what it is we're trying to say. When we are doing our best to connect the dots for them, if we have not created clear vision because they're still in their fog, they can't even hear what it is we're trying to say either. I don't know if that stuck out to you guys like it did to me, but I'm like, I always just think, I just need you to see. You just don't see. And I'm like, but you don't hear either. You can't even hear what it is I'm saying. And so if you are being a little bit shy in this, if you are being a little bit subtle in how you're asking or connecting the dots for people, do you understand that if they're having a hard time hearing, it's like Philip when he calls his mom, bless her heart. Sometimes she doesn't have her hearing aid in and she doesn't hear a thing he says. And he's like, do you have your hearing aid in? Go get your hearing aid in. She goes, I'll call you right back. She knows what he's going to be saying to her and what she needs to go do in order to be able to hear. But you guys, that's the same with people. They need the volume turned up in your confidence and your conviction and in your enthusiasm to be able to hear what it is. Remember I talk about the shock value? Like sometimes we have to shock you into hearing truth and waking you up out of your fog. That's the same thing we're having to do. And it doesn't have to be that you talk at a 10 or a 15 like I do, because I know I do. And you guys are like, I can never talk like you. And I don't even want you to. But what I need you to talk like is an ACE. And he talks about that in this book. And an ACE, A-C-E, stands for you need to speak with authority, you need to speak with conviction, and you need to speak with enthusiasm. You have to have all three, you guys, because that is whenever your message comes across so clearly, even in an enveloped fog, people can hear you and they can find their way out of that fog because you just help them see and hear. But that was huge to me whenever I saw that. And I was like, I haven't thought about why so many people don't get it whenever we're asking and it falls on deaf ears or they just don't respond to our offer to help. And it's because they can't even hear what it is we're saying, you guys. So let's have compassion, but let's get better. Let's get better and not let something chip away at our belief that we start talking, as a 2 whenever we need to be a 10 as an ACE. So, he says that he knew this business was was a business in which average person with above average desire could succeed. And he met too many ordinary people in network marketing making extraordinary sums of money. And you guys, that's what I was saying. Like it just takes desire, above average desire to not settle for the norm, to not settle for less, to not settle for what you've been conditioned to not settle to the way you think today. It's above average desire, meaning you will put in the work, the effort, the time, push through the fear, push through the inconvenience, all of these things to just correct what you desire to be different or better in your life, because you have the ability to dream, see it, and believe it can happen to you. You've just been waiting on a vehicle to be able to live it. So the only thing that kept him going during his business, because it started out slower than he wanted, you guys, was his unflinching conviction. And then he said, you guys, that is in the merger of network marketing with high quality companies. But conviction, unflinching, that's what I'm talking about. Is your conviction unflinching, or do you let it chip away with you? You guys, Arbonne has some amazing statistics, and Tammy Clinton is going to share all of this on our Zoom, from the growth that we're having right now in our company this year over last, January, February, March. You guys have heard me talk about all year last year, my word was vision. And I knew there was something big coming. I didn't know what, but I knew God gave me that word. And now we are seeing what's happening. But what I want you guys to know is, are you letting these statistics excite you, build your belief? Are you letting it chip away at your belief and your conviction in what you are able to do in this business? Because and you have to evaluate, are you using it to build your belief, or does it destroy and chip away at your belief to hear how great Arbonne or some other company, I mean, not company, but team or Sideline or whatever is doing? Are you sitting there going, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with us? What is wrong with us? And you let this chip away at what you are doing or what you think you're being taught to do compared to what the rest of the company is doing because they're doing so great. He says that he was still waiting for this conviction to translate into personal experience. And he said other success stories became a two-edged sword for him. The stories simultaneously motivated and frustrated him. And he said he wanted his own success, but he knew that he was missing something. But you guys, where are you at with that? Are you more frustrated than you are motivated by it? Because if you are frustrated, please look at the truth. Please just look in, and don't look in and start beating yourself up. Look in and go, what principles am I not applying to this business that I know I have to have in order to have success like everybody else is having? And what do I need to fix or do differently? And go to work there. But don't beat yourself up. It is just a learning process, you guys. And if you're brand new, you're on a learning curve that's like this. And if you are, scared of that, don't, because this business is so simple. People miss it because they miss out on the simplicity and try to make it harder. You get overwhelmed in your head with what you think you have to do, and it is so simple. Do you understand that what we do is we stop using other people's products because we believe what Arbonne believes? We start using Arbonne, and we get healthy ourselves inside and out, or do this business and see the benefits and the blessings in it for ourselves, and get excited and passionate about sharing that with other people. And we share what that is with our other people. That's it. That's what we do to build a business. Don't make it harder. I made it harder in my head, but I also tried to make it more professional, like he talks about in this book. He talks about how we have to make it bigger and make it more what do you call it, like, I don't know, just fancy, and obviously I'm not, but that's what people try to do to this, because it's not big and fancy enough for them to feel like they can go out to their world and say, yeah, I do network marketing, or yeah, I do Arbonne. It is something we should all be so proud of. You guys, this company has been around for 40 years, and they have done it right for 40 years, even when the world wasn't ready for us. That's integrity. And if you are a person of integrity, and you pride yourself in your character and doing what's right and living above reproach, you should be out there saying, I hate to brag, like our past president, Rita Davenport, you guys, who's going to be our guest speaker at GTC. So excited, whether you get to be there in person or virtual, you want to register for GTC. It's going to be the best GTC ever we've ever had, because this leadership, this family company that owns us now and has made us their family because they believe what we believe. It's all going back to the mission we had 40 years ago. But that is something that Rita used to say is, I hate to brag, but I do Arbonne. Can you say that with pride? And we talk about, pride comes before the fall, but can you be proud of this company? Cecilia Stoll, #1 income earner in this company. I was talking to her this week on the phone, and she said, the reason some people don't do as well in this business is they're afraid to tell the world, or embarrassed to tell the world, they love Arbonne. And you can't be afraid, you guys, because guess what? People are in a fog. And if you're shying down and hiding down and around and being the undercover Arbonne consultant, you're not going to let them see you through their fog. They're not going to notice that Arbonne is something so great that they should jump in here and live it and join the company with you in sharing it with their world too. They're going to miss it. And that is where we have to not we can't have any crack in our belief or conviction that what we have and do is absolutely so good for us and for everyone else. And that's why we're sharing it. We don't have to have everyone else join us. That does not shake my belief at all. I feel sorry for people who don't, because I know what I have and I know what they could have. But you can't let it shake your belief. You just have to be able to keep moving forward in it, but with confidence and conviction and passion, and be proud that you are an Arbonne consultant, no matter what anybody else is doing. So he said he just kept working on his business to the best of his ability, you guys. And that's all anybody will ever ask of you. You know, we're not those parents that, like, if you're not an A student, you're nothing. And, you know, of our kids, my kids were great students. There were sometimes something besides A's that came home. But you know what? I was still proud and happy because I knew they were truly working to their best of their ability. And that is what you need to do in Arbonne, is just work to the best of your ability, because your ability will get better just like his did, because you just keep doing your best. And if you keep doing your best and you don't settle and you don't set this thing aside for things that are less important or powerful for your life, you will get better. You will develop and go through and survive what he calls the network marketing learning curve. And you will end up getting success. So, because this business does not discriminate, you guys. It just requires of all of us, like I said, what it is that we are required to do. And those things are the 3 foundational principles that he says of network marketing are consistent effort, duplication, and give it enough time. And you guys have heard this. What you're going to love is that as you go through this book club, you're going to recognize training from all the NVPs that have gone before you, that have pulled what they know right here. The 3 Ds, dreams, desires, discontents. It came from Dr. Tom Barrett. But those are the 3 things that we have to have. And he says they are imperative. That's one of those absolute words that he uses. He says, while they may look innocuous, they are imperative for sustained focus and success in the network marketing industry. So consistent effort, he says it's not difficult to understand. He says its difficulty lies in its implementation. It's hard to do, you guys. We're not consistent most of the time. I mean, how many of us want to be healthy or want to be consistent in exercising, but we fall off the track? That's what's normal. That's the normal human nature, is that we know we need to be consistent, but it's not easy and we don't do it. It's the difficulty lies in the implementation. He says we have to be willing to give consistent chunks of time to our business if we're serious about the growth. And you guys, it's not even that much time. Like, don't let that freak you out when he says consistent chunks of time. It's a chunk. And a chunk, you know, may be 10 minutes here or 15 minutes here. I was talking about, like, to my team, and I was saying, you guys, if you could, like, send out some text messages while you're waiting in the pickup line for your kids, or when you're waiting through, you know, a drive-through of some kind. Not that we go to that many drive-throughs anymore, but you can go through other drive-throughs besides food. But you can do it whenever your baby is napping, or, you know, I used to do it in between my patients. Like, if I got 5 minutes in between patients, because I worked my 50, 60-hour week job when I was building this business to MVP, you guys, I would work it at my lunch break. I would get up early and I would work it. I would stay up late and work it, and I worked it in between in the nooks and crannies. And that's what he talks about. This business is built in the nooks and crannies of our day. He says the discipline is the price of success. You guys, Tiger Woods, his comeback, his win at the Masters is something that is, you know, like, it's remarkable. I mean, I celebrate him. Do I agree with everything the man has done? No. But do I celebrate his comeback? It almost makes me cry, because, you guys, success is fun, but comeback after success, when you've taken a big fall, is even more fun and more exciting. And so if you will just do the private, quiet work that you have to do behind the scenes that hone and sharpen your skills, he says, in the obscure moments of your day. He said they come from doing little, boring, seemingly irrelevant things one at a time. The quiet, cumulative effect of discipline and consistency is what will help build you a business in Arbonne. He says, he talks about sending one more fax and follow up, and I just laugh. Today, it's making one more social media post, or following up on a like, or following up on a comment, or following up with a text or a phone call that you made, or a message you sent through Facebook Messenger. It looks different today, you guys, but it's still those consistent reach outs, those consistent follow-ups, because we're helping people find their way through the fog. He says, as standalone incidences, he said, these are barely noteworthy, but collectively they create focus, cultivate character, increase skill sets, and grow a team of like-minded winners. And you're creating a culture and a system that shows people that when you do this, it works for you and it worked for them when they do it too. He said, you can work your business full-time or part-time, but you cannot work it in spare time, because we all use and did before Arbonne and after we're in Arbonne 24 hours of every single day. And hesitation of Arbonne is time. Time is one of the biggest ones. I just don't have time, you guys. We're never going to have time. But what he says is, it's not that it's truth that you can't still build a business. What you're stating is it's a priority. And it's the priority comes not because you don't want this, but because you can't see through your fog of how you can do this with everything you have. But I promise you, you guys, you have those 10, 15-minute, 5-minute nooks and crannies in your day. If you use them well and you discipline yourself, like he says, is the price of success. And we don't use it watching TV shows that don't matter for our future. He says that you can still build this business and you make time. He says people are not sitting around with gaps in their schedules waiting for them to be filled. Success is inconvenient. And you guys, I wrote in here, we are a society of convenience. Like so many people, we just want life to be easy. We want life to be, we don't want to get uncomfortable. We don't want to stretch. We don't want to grow. This is going to require growth. This is going to require you to give up something that you're not used to giving up. You're going to have to change something you do in order to put in and fill in the nooks and crannies in this business enough for it to build you. And he says, I did put down here, you guys, when you call people, they know you literally only have a minute or two. And he says, get right to the point. And he always says, allow me to get right to the point and set up the appointment and get off the phone. Just like we do when we make a hair appointment or some doctor's appointment, you guys. We just call, tell people what we need, and we ask them what days they have available, just like we do in our 5 key ask. And I was going to pull that up if we have time, but if not, you know what it is, or the person can help you find it. But it's, hey, Kim, I don't know if this would be a fit for you or not, but I know you're working to try to get healthy. Connect the dots. Why you think of them. Tell me no if this ends up not being a fit for you or not, but hear it first. Do you have any time on Tuesday or Thursday this week that we could chat? That's it. Just like a hair appointment, it's like, hey, I need my hair done. Don't judge my hair today. I'm trying to learn how to do a messy bun. Natalie's trying to teach me. But you guys, it is where I say, you know what? Do you have anything next Wednesday or Friday? Those are the 2 days I have. And they look and they're like, hey, Wednesday looks good for me. Good, I'll take Wednesday. That's how you make an appointment with Arbonne. We hem-haw, we get nervous, we don't get to the point, and we make ourselves nervous, and we start stumbling, and we lose that ace ability, that authority, conviction, and enthusiasm that we have about sharing this, because we mess it up. We muddle it up by doing too much and worrying about doing it too right. So we just got to get to the point, book the appointment, and then figure out like where you have time in your day to make those appointments. And I said in here, start paying attention to wasted moments, evaluate where you spend time. You could work Arbonne. And how do you change it? You develop new habits, you guys. Habits take work. I mean, it's just like living healthy or exercising or whatever. You have to develop it as a habit. And I will tell you, I was talking to my MVPs yesterday, like how many times I set alarms. If you knew how many alarms were in my phone to go off to remind me to do something that I need to develop a habit for. That's how you can start developing a habit. Like set yourself an alarm when you know you have that lull in your day. Generally, give yourself an alarm that says, talk to your Arbonne business. Reach out to people. Make these calls in this nook and cranny time that you know you have at the pickup line, and let it be a reminder that buzzes at you, and don't stop it, snooze it. I don't stop my alarm until I do it. And I let it keep bugging me every 9 minutes if I don't do it. And it just keeps going off. And Philip sometimes is like, your alarm is going off. What are you doing? I'm like, I know it's going off, but I can't turn it off until I do it. That's how I do it, you guys. That's how I discipline myself and develop the habits I know I have to have in order to be successful, because success is not convenient. And I'm going to have to work it into my day if I'm going to want it to be what my life starts being routinely without me thinking about it. He says, everyone has some daily nooks and crannies. He says, what separates winners from wishers in network marketing is how they use these times and how these times are used. When someone says they don't have time for something, they haven't stated a fact. They simply have stated a priority. And you guys, I understand that it's not just like you go, no, I really don't have time. I get that you really think you don't have time. I'm not even saying that you're not stating a priority or you're not stating a truth for your life, because what you perceive your life is truth, not what I think. But what we have to acknowledge is that it's an area we have to say, okay, I think I don't have enough time. I have to change my mindset in order to incorporate this into my daily routine so that I can get what I know this business can offer me when I do. Because you guys, life is not going to get better. Like, it's not going to get easier. You think, oh, whenever I get done with this end of school season, then life is going to be better and I'm going to start working my business more consistently. Guess what? No, you won't, because then it's summer and then your kids are home and then it's wedding season, or then it's like, you guys, life is life. And if you haven't figured out by now, I'm older than most of you and I give you grace in this, it is not going to slow down. It's only going to get faster, and it's only going to go more crazy on you unless you decide to take control of your life and put into it what you want. When life will get better for you and will not feel so crazy that you keep having to put off things that really are important to you, but you just don't know how to do it, is when you sit down and you decide, I am no longer going to be controlled by my life and my schedule. I am going to be in control. That's what we are learning to do in Arbonne, is learning to be in control of our life. It's not because we get better or life gets easier and we get to do Arbonne then. Nope. It's because we learn how to take control and put it into our life. Network marketing, he says, a pack horse is better than a racehorse. And you guys, I agree with that. However, I was a racehorse and I'm a pack horse. I was a racehorse to the top of this company, and you can race to the top. And it is beautiful and it is fun to do it and get it over with quick and start enjoying the benefits early, because the benefits will last forever. It's not like if you get them and then they go away. They last forever. So go get them faster. Go grab them now and then just continue to be a pack horse so that you can continue to keep them. And the pack horse job is a lot easier if you are a racehorse first. It's harder if you do this slow, just telling you. But I'm not telling you that just because I see some flashy racehorses out there, I've seen enough racehorses that get winded after their initial sprint and they quit. And if I had to pick and choose, I would pick a pack horse over a racehorse. Just like Rachel Hollis talked about how a marathon runner, she didn't think she could ever run, but what she figured out is she was a great long distance runner. She could go the distance because she was committed and wouldn't give up on something that she promised herself. So you guys, pack horses can be good, but don't think you can't be a racehorse and a pack horse at the same time, because you can. You just have to be willing to work it into your nooks and crannies and let it be where you make this a priority. He says that the moods, the motivations, successful network marketers don't let their moods, motivations, the weather, the TV guide determine what they do. He says they merge their dream with determination. They set the same goals and they set out to reach them. They did a little every day. They sustained focus. They gave consistent effort. He says today we honor them as heroes, and they are. He said they applied a concept that is simple to understand and difficult to implement: consistent effort. So you guys, 2, duplication. He says it's like simple cell division. He says he'd rather have 1% of efforts of 100 men working rather than 100% of his own efforts. That's the beauty of network marketing, you guys. I used to work 50, 60 hours a week to get paid for 40. Today I can work 10, 20, whatever hours I want to work, because I love working my business, but I get paid for so many hours I can't even count them. because it multiplies and leverages anything that I have helped somebody else do. I get rewarded and paid for it too. So duplication, you guys, is not math in network marketing. It's exponential. I mean, I guess it is math, but it's not addition. It's exponential. And it's you plus 1, then 2 plus 2 equals 4, 4 plus 4 equals 8. But then it starts being 7 to the 64th, 64 to 64. Anyway, whatever it is. You don't have to be a math major to be good at Arbonne. But if you just take a penny and double it every day, you get way more than just your own efforts. And where it says, 2,400 and 2,048 plus 2,048 equals 4,096 people working in your business. Can I tell you, it doesn't take that many? It takes, honestly, a handful of good people working your business to give you a life of your dreams and to help you help people live their dream life with just a handful of people. You got to go through a lot of people to find out who's willing to give this consistent effort with you. But it doesn't take a lot of people, you guys. It is only a few people. I've had 4 directs for the 2.5 years in my business. Those 4 directs have helped me be at the top of this company faster than anyone else has ever gotten to the top of the company and stayed there. Over 16 years. It doesn't take a lot. It just takes you being the person you need to be and leading them to become the people they need to be and entrepreneurs they need to be in order for this to work. So how does it work? And he says you need a simple system that duplicates, that creates depth, and then you get wealth. And you guys, it is simple. We start, we share. We help 8 people start living Arbonne, and we find 2 a month. This is a month. This is what we do. We find 8 people that want to live healthy with our products personally, not your team, you personally. This is your $2,500 building block that we know consistently has to be in place in order for us to continue to grow a successful, sustainable business. And we help 8 live the products. We find 2 people to start the business, to see through the fog and hear through the fog. And that's the simple. And you guys, do you know what our system is? Because I think sometimes people like to say, our system is so hard now. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to get somebody started. Calm your brain, because it's not. We still simply stop using other people's products, start using Arbonne, and share what we love about that with our world. How we share it is now in person, virtual, like this on a Zoom, posting on our social medias and following up and just building relationship and inviting people to the next exposure that we have with Arbonne, period. That is all we do to build a business. You just need to be doing it consistently in order for it to work and not be thinking it's hard in your head. Because if you think it's hard in your head, that will control you and you will not be able to teach this simple system. I have people say, oh man, I have somebody that wants to get started, but I don't know what to do. Yes, we do. We help them stop using other people's products, start using Arbonne, share what they love about that with their world by booking some in-person events, booking some virtual events, because they're going to connect to 2 different groups of people with both of those reach outs, and start telling their world what they're excited about doing and following up with all of that. Do you guys get it? Is that simple enough? Have we made it hard? Is there anything we need to do to simplify that for you? Because if you don't understand that, and there is a crack, I'm being serious here. We need to know it. We need to know what is it that you are not able to do because you don't understand it and you need help. Because that's what we're here to do. It's how we get paid as your leader. We only get paid if we help you succeed. And the only way you're going to succeed is when you can see through the fog and you know exactly how to help somebody else find their tracks to run on and see through the fog, just like he says. Simplicity is the cornerstone upon which everything else is built. Keep your business uncomplicated, basic, and fun. There is genius hidden in the council of people that teach this. Embarrassed by the simplicity, we talked about that. Like, don't make this harder, you guys. Don't add a large dose of professional arrogance to it like I did in the beginning. He says, wealth is only possible if we keep things so simple that they are totally duplicatable. Those who do this will become wealthy. Those who do not will become weary. And so I just asked, like, guys, do you know how to do this? And are you duplicating? Are you getting your 5 double Ds? Are you helping people every month, 8 people start this business or these products and helping 2 people start this business. And if not, let's work on that and partner with people who can help you sharpen those skills. And then when you find people, don't get so excited. And leaders, if you have a team, yay, you have duplicated yourself. Where I see teams die, always is from the bottom up, because we get excited about what we help somebody find personally, that we found somebody personally, but we forget to help them duplicate that and find their team. That's why the first thing we teach is finding dream team after we help them book their activity. With all that activity we're booking, virtual, in person, posting, we're teaching people at the same time, look for dream team people. Talk to your dream team people. Be on purpose finding your dream team, because that's when you're going to duplicate, and that is a requirement for success in Arbonne. He says, then people need to plug into a system. And you guys, if you've ever heard me train, you know I say plug in or die. Like, congratulations to all of you that are here with us. But people come in, and sometimes we make this so simple in our head. Maybe we aren't complicating it. Maybe we aren't trying to make it harder. Maybe we're making it so simple we think we don't need anybody's help. We don't need to learn anything. We just can jump in here, do it, and we're going to get successful. Don't oversimplify this and think you can go it alone, because you will die a very fast death. And as a leader, you need to be telling people the same thing. He says it is one of the most pivotal aspects of the business. And he said he has no idea the literal fortunes that were won or lost here. You guys hear that? Like, he's speaking in absolutes. This is something that is absolutely required, is that you cannot disconnect at any time in your business, or you will not be successful. You will lose the opportunity to make a fortune here, but if you stay connected, you will have the opportunity to make the fortune that we have the ability to do. He says, in reality, the only thing that they are missing is a systematic method of growing their business. We're not missing that, you guys, but we need to make sure you understand you have a systematic method, and that you know where to find the resources and the training for it, and that you know where and how to plug somebody into it immediately. You don't have to know how to build this business. You just need to know how to help somebody plug into the sources that are teaching you. So that's why we teach people right out of the gate. Sponsor. Like, don't wait and think you have to wait to know this before you can bring somebody else into it, because you're not going to be the one teaching them. You're just plugging them into a system that is simple and in place and duplicatable when anybody plugs into it. So you can plug you and multiple. It's like having one of those plugs that have multiple plugs all over it, or a strip plug where you can plug them all in at the same time. Don't wait. Just jump in here and do it faster, because that's when you're going to create that racehorse effect, momentum, excitement, and this commotion that goes on around you that just becomes attractive to everyone, thinking they're missing out on something if they don't jump in with you, and you create duplication and depth at the same time. And so, don't forget your grandkids. I wrote down here, like, help everybody get their people all the way down. That never can stop. You never are deep enough. You always want to grow your depth at the same time you're growing your width, and it has to be both at the same time, not one or the other. And then he talks about connecting the dots and helping people, see the successes of other people. And number 3, giving it enough time. Growing a large network marketing business is somewhat like this. He says the task is bigger than we imagine. Fortunately, though, so is the return. You guys, it'll blow your mind when you start getting these paychecks. My first 3 paychecks blew my mind. I was working hard at the same time as working a full-time job, but I got a $550 check the first time, and that was like, wow, I just made an extra $500. That's incredible. The next month it was $1,500. The next month it was $4,500, and that was 16 years ago. Do you know what you can do today whenever you get in here and you move fast and passionate? But he says the return will blow your mind, but it requires sweat equity and investment of time. It doesn't take you investing something you don't have. We all have everything we need to invest into this opportunity in order for it to give us return back at the end. He says, be patient. It does take time, significant periods of time, to grow a network marketing business with width and duplication. He says it takes time to start new consultants and then to achieve leadership positions that are available. He says it takes time to move from a goal of wealth to understanding the means of attaining wealth. and it takes time to understand the invisible learning curve and skill sets required to do this business. So he says, give it enough time, long distance. Don't give yourself, I'll give this 6 months or a year or whatever, or I've been here 5 years, I'm not where I want to be. It's not from the day you signed up, it's how many hours have you logged, like a pilot, that helps you get the time that he's talking about, giving it enough time. But he also talks about giving it enough time every day, like we talked about, working in the nooks and crannies and not signing up and just doing nothing and expecting that this is going to work for you. He says, how many times in network marketing, there's only one thing that counts as hours logged or flight time, showing your business presentation to someone. How many times, you guys? Yes, we ask. That counts as time. But the only thing he says we get to log is how many of those 40 faces do we mark off that got to hear the story this month? Because that's where we're going to find our 8 that we help get healthy and 2 that start this business with us. How many times have you told your story? That's the only thing that counts in network marketing. So a party, a presentation, whatever you want to call it, a take a look, but has somebody sit and listen and help you, let you help share with them what it is you see. He says he wants to instill a dose of realism into our journey here. He says if you're not logging steadily, increasing amounts of flight time, then there's no point in acting dismayed when your business is not reaching a point of liftoff. One will not happen without the other, you guys. And he talks about how this is why I like the race horse mentality versus the pack horse. You can get benefits and rewards off every little thing you do, however slow you do it. But a plane, he talks about how it takes more fuel and energy to get a plane up and in the air and cruising altitude. You know what it feels like if you've ever flown and you feel like you're like this. And it's just like so much power that's just catapulting you back because of the pressure. And that's what happens in your business. It takes that much energy and effort in the beginning to get you in liftoff mode, to get you to cruising altitude. And he says you can't get there without the effort. So we need to be willing to put the effort into it in the front end, put the fuel, the energy, and the enthusiasm in on the front, and don't let it waver. He says a checklist for reality, these 3 principles of network marketing are consistent effort, duplication, give it enough time, and he says, but check and make sure that your method is not that you are sporadic and catch it as you can. He says, because are you seeing duplication in your business? Do you know what duplication is in network marketing? Do you see why it is a paramount importance? Do you know how to create and sustain duplication? And finally, do you have realistic financial expectations? Have you logged many hours of flight time? How many? What is keeping you from logging more hours? Is it time, skill, fear, stalling, or something else? He says, if you think this opportunity is real, what is keeping you from taking advantage of it to the best of your ability? And he says, while waiting for the fog to lift so that you can see what you're doing in your business, there are some other things you can concentrate on. And they're guaranteed to keep you on course, even if you feel like you're flying blind. The first of these is to recognize that success is no accident. And that's what we're going to learn about next week, you guys. It's not an accident. People that are successful in this business, they're only successful because they have worked hard and logged the hours of presenting their business to other people and staying strong even when they got denied or pushed back against. And that is how they continue to build that momentum enough to get that lift off anyway. They didn't slow down. They didn't let life distract them. They didn't wait for life to get better. They had dreams and they were willing to work for it no matter what. So I hope you guys got some muscle built this morning with your network marketing knowledge that you got this morning, and that you will join me next week on Success is No Accident. Thank you, guys.